Hey there YouTube, Pharaoh with you once again, and we're going to do a little bit of a book review. This, the Student Trainee Manual on the Book of Mormon. You may notice I've found some things to pick at it with. So, let's get down to it. Okay, on page 13, in case you have your own lovely copy of this. Let's see. The lost 116 pages. Supposedly, the beginning of the Book of Mormon was supposed to be written by a guy named Lehi. And it's actually, the first part is about this guy called Nephi, who is Lehi's son. And he's talking about accounts with him and his father. And that's the first Book of Mormon. The reason why Lehi's book isn't in there is because it was lost. It got translated by Joseph Smith, but the wife of the guy who was doing the transcribing, supposedly, was an extremely skeptical woman and stole these pages to see if he could recopy the first book exactly as it was, you know, because if you're divine power helping you out on this, you should be able to do that. But Joe Smith realized that that wasn't the case. It was like, no, it's lost forever now. So there's 116 pages of material that is just not available. On page 16, Nephi is commanded, it talks about where Nephi is commanded by God to kill someone. And it says that anybody can have problems sorting out whether this is right or wrong. And it goes into detail of how you should think about these things. You know, it says God said, "Thou shalt not kill," and another time He said, "Thou shalt utterly destroy." So, what this part of the book is saying is that if God tells you to do it, that's the right thing to do. So, I have a little news article here that I would like to just point out. Okay. This is a news article about a woman who killed her own children because she thought God told her to do it. So according to Mormons, she shouldn't go to jail. I mean, it's okay because God told her to do it. So therefore, it's the right thing to do. Idiotic. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I made references to the horse thing. That was a contradiction that was in the Book of Mormon. I found another one of my answered contradictions in this book, and it has to do with steel. Because steel is mentioned in this book, and apparently they had steel in 600 BC, which historically can't happen. So the book is talking about that, about how they had steel and how do they know that they had steel. And the book says, well, if you look back to the time of Marco Polo when he went to China, he said he saw an iron-like material that was really shiny, but there was no word for it in his language. He had to use the Chinese way of saying it. And that is supposedly steel. That's evidence for them that steel existed in ancient times. Well, Marco Polo, if memory serves me right, was, you know, a guy roaming around in the, 1300s? Yeah, 14th century. That's a far cry away from 600 BC. So, yeah, you didn't really explain that one, did you? Next part. This part is talking about the seer stones. That's what I call them. They have special little names for these things. Urim and Thummim. Probably butchering that, but I don't know how it's pronounced. Anyways, basically what these things are, these are two stones that Joseph Smith had with him during his translation. And if you don't know this, he would take these stones and he would put them in his hat. at the bottom of the hat, he'd hold it, upside down and put the stones in the hat, and then he would bury his face. He'd bury his face into the hat, and that's how he would translate the golden plates of Egyptian that make up the Book of Mormon. And it's weird because, I mean, of course it's weird because he's, putting his hat in his face where there's some rocks. But the weirder aspect is that these stones allowed him to do this when the plates weren't even present. Like, they didn't even have to be, he didn't have to look at them. They could be hidden away. They didn't even have to be in the same room or the same house. But he was still able to translate what they said just by burying his face in his hat with these seer stones. That's weird. Now, this isn't something that's weird about the Mormon faith. This is just something that I found odd when going through the book. It just kind of, I was like, whoa, what's this all about? It's not a teaching or anything. It's just the book itself, okay? And I'll try and show it as best I can. Can you see that? Page 188. That's what's on the left. Go over to the right. It says 237. And that's both the same pages. So there's a good chunk of this book completely missing. Because there's stuff in the index, all the way in the back of the book, that indexes or tells you on what page you can find what, and a lot of stuff about like the Antichrist and all that stuff is somewhere in these missing pages that aren't here. And it's not like they were torn out. I mean, you can see the spine of the book is not altered. Okay, it's not as if they were once there. See, there's no torn pieces of paper or anything. It's not like it was cut out intentionally or anything. The book was made with these pieces of paper intentionally missing. Like, it's separate. I don't know why that is, but that is really weird. That somehow this got censored out and is in some special version that I don't have a copy of, but I would really like one. So that's weird. And now we go to the back of the book, where there are visual aids to help you figure things out. And one of these is the Book of Mormon plates. There's a lot of different plates that they use. Some is like family history, some is the actual Book of Mormon, all of that stuff. And on this page, there's a visual representation of the plates and all that, how they came from where and all of that. But there's something interesting. See it? Down here. Sealed portion, not translated. Why is it sealed? Why is it not translated? You think that'd be important that they had all of knowledge that is in their holy book, but a portion of the knowledge is sealed and nobody can ever look at it. Why is that? Because that's weird. So I'm going to be talking about this at my next visit with the Mormons, see if they can explain this stuff. But that was just a quick little book review for you guys so you could partake in this little experiment that I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed it, and I try to make it as quick as possible. I'm Pharaoh, and I'm out of here.
Y'all know the name. Pharaoh fucking Monk, ain't a damn thing changed.